Hey everyone, in this video I want to cover passkey registration campaigns because today passkeys are pretty well established as the preferred authentication mechanism for a number of reasons. So we can think about they are very easy to use. When I have a passkey on a device that I'm using and I try and access a site that passkey is for, I'll be prompted. Hey, do you want to use this passkey? I can just say yes, and it's unlocked with a biometric or a passcode that I enter. If I have a passkey on my phone and I want to use it for a site on my computer, hey, it shows me a little QR code, I scan it, and I select the passkey. It's not some password I have to remember and then likely use on multiple sites. So if it gets leaked, it's a problem everywhere. I'm not waiting on an SMS text message. I'm not having to go into some authenticator app and look something up. But even despite all of that, they're easy, but they are also strong because they're based on public key cryptography. And what's nice about that is on whatever site that the passkey is for, all it has is a public key. If that server side is attacked, all the attacker gets is a bunch of public keys. There's nothing useful they can steal. A passkey can't be used for credential stuffing, trying to do something with it. And it lives on a particular device or protected ecosystem. And again, when I want to use it, I have to unlock it. But they require proximity. When I have that passkey on my phone, for example, I want to use it on my PC, I have to prove I'm close to that machine where I want to authenticate. Near field communications, NFC, Bluetooth, USB. If it's within the machine itself, there's a TPM. But I can't be tricked to authenticate a remote bad actor. They can't phone me up and say, hey, I'm IT support. I need to prove who you say you are. I'm sending you a auth code. Tell me what it is. I tell them, they go and use it. You can't do that because it has to have proximity. And also, so I have that proximity, but also it can't be phished, which goes into this one as well. But I can't be tricked to try and use a passkey on a similar site that I've been misled and directed to, where they try and then steal the authentication. For example, you see this, that you substitute letters. So if I do an R and an N, it looks a bit like an M. So Microsoft, that does not equal a true M. So if my passkey is for Microsoft, I as a user cannot be tricked to try and use it on RN Microsoft. It will not let me. So that ability to protect the user from themselves, and I can only use the passkey for the true site that it was created for, combined with, hey, I have to have that proximity, makes them very hard to be phished. So all of those things together are fantastic. Like it gives us a very, very strong authentication. And so if I am a user and I have whatever device I have, well, what I want to be able to do is give them a little nudge. I want them to go ahead and sign up for a passkey. So then they go and add it, and it's on their device, and they use it for the authentication. But first, we have to understand how you as an organization is actually configured. So remember, what we're talking about here is we have our Entra tenant. And today what you actually have within your tenant are one or more passkey profiles. Now, these passkey profiles define the sets of constraints on the type of passkeys that can be used by specific groups of users in your organization. For example, I can say, does it have to be device bound? Can it be a synced passkey, i.e. within the iOS or the Google ecosystem? Do I require attestation? Do I restrict it to certain types of passkey, i.e. AA GUIDs? And then I assign that profile to particular groups of users. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So in the Entra portal, I'm looking at my authentication methods. And if I go and look at policies, I'm caring about this passkey sets of policies. And if I open it up, firstly, you can see I target particular groups, and I could exclude particular groups for one or more profiles. So here, for example, the Justice League has both the default and synced passkey profiles. Then I go ahead and I configure those. So if I look at my synced, I can see it has a name, whether I'm enforcing attestation or not. Do I allow synced or device bound? I can select which ones I want. And do I want to limit it to particular AA GUIDs? So I could allow it, for example, hey, Windows Hello, and then I could add AA GUIDs for all of the different types of things. So there could be ones for the iOS ecosystem, the keychain, Google, Authenticator app, you kind of name it. And so I go ahead and add these and I assign them to particular groups of users. So the whole goal of this is based on my requirements. I set the type of passkeys I want to enable in my organization based on the type of user. For regular users, hey, I might be totally fine with sync passkeys or device bound. I don't care what they do. They're mainly task-based work. For my high privileged administrators, do you know what? Maybe I only want device bound passkeys. Now remember, this is only the authentication. I can still combine this with conditional access. So even if it was a synced passkey, I could still require the machine to be a known healthy device. So it's managed by the organization. It's maybe Intune managed. So it's not just saying, hey, anything within that ecosystem could actually authenticate. There's still additional levels of that. And then the final part of this is there's a kind of a checkbox that is allow self-service setup. I.e., I want users to be able to go in and actually sign up for this thing. And we see it on this box. So these have to be true. I have to have enabled this, and I have to have passkey profiles actually assigned for my users. Now, with all of that understood, and I've got these particular profiles targeting my population, well, now I want to think about how do I do this nudge? How do I prompt them to actually go and do it? Now, the way we're using this is this idea of the registration campaign. Now, this is not new. Previously, this was focused on the authenticator application. But what I can now do is I can opt to target passkey registration instead. Now, the important word here is it is instead. I can target either the authenticator app or I can target passkeys. I cannot in any way do both of them. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this. And with the registration campaign, there's different options. So there's Microsoft managed, or I can just enable it, or I can disable it. Now, if I enable it, that's when I can then go and pick. And I can pick between, hey, the Microsoft Authenticator app or sign up for passkeys. And then you have a number of additional options associated with that. Now, if I leave it on Microsoft managed, for it to pick, hey, I'm going to flip from Authenticator app to passkeys, it's going to go ahead and look at your tenant configuration, and it's going to find, do you have any user in the tenant that in terms of passkeys has no restrictions, i.e. they can do device bound, they can do synced, they do not require attestation, there are no AA GUID restrictions. If it finds that, then it's going to flip over to say, hey, we're going to focus on passkeys. Now, then the behavior is going to be a little bit specific based on the user, which we're going to dive into. But if I want to push the passkey Again, you set it to enabled. I could then set it to passkey. Then there are a few configurations. For example, I have some snooze configurations. So they can snooze it for, hey, a certain number of days and a certain number of times. And then I pick who I want to include or exclude as part of the campaign. Now let's actually go and have a look at this. So if we jump over, if I go back to my discard, you see I have my registration campaign. So it's under the authentication methods. Right now it is Microsoft managed. But if I change this to just enabled, well, then I can set it specifically here to passkeys. And then I have this option, how many days can they snooze it? So I let them snooze it for a day. Am I going to limit the number of snoozes? So if I set it to enabled, they can snooze it 3 times. And then do I want to enable all users or groups of users? And then who do I want to exclude? So I can go and override to say, hey, I want to push this through. Now, what's important to understand about this is we talked about the logic of the Microsoft managed deciding to flip over if there is almost like the perfect passkey profile. No restrictions, which that may not be your definition of perfect. But that is the behavior today in terms of this registration campaign. It is not focusing on what profiles are assigned to the user. So what that means is during the nudge, if it is Microsoft managed, then if they are restricted, they will not get the nudge because it would fail. If, however, I just enable it and then, hey, I'm pushing this out there to the users, it's not going to guide them based on the type of passkey they are actually allowed to set up. And so there's a potential here. Let's say they're part of a profile that only allows device bound. And I just enable this campaign and target them. And then on their device currently, because when this actually goes ahead and works, what it's doing is, assuming they're targeted, it's looking at their device and it's basically saying, is there a passkey on this device? If there isn't a passkey, it's going to say, hey, nudge them. They've done a strong authentication. Let's make them set up the passkey. But if they're only allowed to do device bound, and then they try and set up a synced passkey, it's going to fail because I'm going to try and do an iOS keychain and it won't let me. So that's obviously not a perfect scenario today. And so in my tenant, if I know I have a lot of users that do have constraints on the type of passkeys they are allowed to use, it is probably best today to not just target everyone. It's going to confuse them. So either I focus on only including the users that do not have restrictions, so they'll be able to go through and it will succeed, or you need to have a very strong communications campaign within your company. Say, hey, we're going to nudge you to go and create a passkey. You need to select these options during that setup to make sure you are staying within what is allowed, because it's not going to let you do something you are not allowed to do. That's the whole point of this. Now, this will change in the future. This is still work going on. I think as things go forward, they'll probably do things to tune it more around the type of passkey that matches the profile of the user. But today, it is not. Time of recording, it is not. So just be careful that if I just decide to override this and enable it for everyone, if these users do have restrictions, the campaign is not going to understand that today. So they'll get nudged to, hey, go and create this thing, and it's not going to succeed. But then the whole goal is, once you do enable this, either Microsoft or it's enabled, and if it's Microsoft, again, it's only going to prompt them if they don't have restrictions. It's going to look at their device. Now, this is a per device browser combination. It is not account level. So it's going to say, hey, on this current device and browser, do you have a passkey? And if you don't, it's going to prompt you. If I have a passkey on another device browser and it's not synced, for example, it's going to prompt me on this combination. So if I use lots of different devices or browsers, I'm going to get prompted multiple times. Now, the way that nudge is understood is if we go to the documentation, it shows us. So these are the scenarios the nudge is suppressed. So if I'm got a Windows Hello for Business, then if I'm on a Windows machine, it will suppress the nudge. Same as if I have an Entra passkey. If I have a synced Google password manager-based passkey, and I'm using the Chrome browser on Windows or Chrome on Mac, or I'm using an Android device, it won't prompt me. If I have an iCloud keychain synced passkey, well then it's not going to prompt me on any of the iOS ecosystem. If I've got a Mac, single sign-on, the same, Samsung Pass, etc. So you can kind of see what it's doing. If it can see basically a passkey in its current view on this strong authentication, it's not going to prompt me to create the thing. But if it can't see a passkey for my account on this device browser combination, it's going to say, hey, you need to go and create a passkey. And then maybe I can snooze it for a couple of days. Maybe I can snooze it for 3 times if I've got that limited number. And then it's going to make me go and create those passkeys. And so there you have it. I mean, depending on your tenant configuration, you might decide to, hey, I just want to go and enable this for everyone. Or if I do have a lot of these restrictions, maybe today I'm going to be more focused on hey, I'm only going to include these particular sets of people. But passkeys are a really good thing in terms of they're easy to use. They are a strong authentication. They require that proximity. I can't be tricked to go to some similar site, so it helps protect against phishing. So where possible, you really do want to try and get your users to passkeys. And again, remember, there's a little bit of, I think, some of it's justified, but it is not just this. It still has conditional access applied. So I can still require my device to be registered and healthy. So the synced is maybe not as scary as it initially seems. There's still other checks and constraints that I can put around that. But hey, there's that registration campaign. Go and take a look at it, understand your user base, and use it where it makes sense. Hope that's useful. Till next video, take care.